Good evening, everyone.
Hey.
It is Tuesday, the possible temporary home for ModCons for the moment. Thank you all for joining us. It is just gone 8 o'clock, and yeah, we have got a lot to talk about tonight. A lot to talk about. So let's do the quick rounds. We have got on this evening Mr. Tim.
Hello.
Hello, good sir. We have got Mr. Blunners.
Hello, everyone.
Evening, Duder. We've
Right.
got some great names in the chat already. We have got Mr. Rob Taylor, the man, the myth, the legend, who is always welcome here. We've got Colin. Very good to see you, Colin. I hope you are well. We've got Mag in the house. Mag, it is wonderful to see you. Mr. Goldtooth. Wonderful to see you, sir. Mr. Nick Craddock. Good evening, everyone. You are all very, very welcome here. At some point this evening, we'll do a bit of a plug for Mag's event coming up, Timeless, because Mag and the Timeless team have given all of the wonderful people who want to buy tickets a little discount code from RGR as a gift from Mag. So we'll do a little plug for that later. Mag, if you do have any videos or trailers or anything like that we can pinch from you that we can start using on our streams, please send them over and we will start getting those posted out as well. But yeah, we have got a stacked show to talk about, probably some controversial stuff which is going to get lots of opinions going, so make sure you all get your opinions to going along in the chat with us. But as always, let's start with the topic of what are you playing? So before we jumped on, Tim, you said you've been playing lots of games. So
Yeah, I
Tim,
haven't been playing lots of games.
what
So
have
for
you
some
been-
of my outburst earlier, I knocked my desk and I thought I was going to knock the whole thing over. My laptop was going to go flying. That's where I was. So yeah, that no crisis avoided. Yeah, to be honest, I'm playing quite a few things, but the thing I want to talk about the most, the thing that's been really hooking me, is Pal World. There's so much talk about it. I was like, I've got to try this game. What is this all about? And I've got to say, it's really hooked me. It's such a fun game. It's mad. Have you played it, Ollie? I know that Blunders has played it. Have you played it?
I haven't. I get that it's possibly Pokemon with guns.
He hasn't got an Xbox.
Yeah. No, that's like the probably the simplest way of describing it. But like, I'm not normally into like the base builds. I've never been like a Minecraft person. I've never really been that into like the farming games and things like that. But it's just the thing that's really good about it. This is probably quite common in that sort of style of game, even though I'm not overly familiar with it myself.
Mhm.
It's that regular, very consistent little small increments of improvement. So the longer you play, the more stuff you get, the more stuff you build. You're building your base, you're leveling stuff up in your base, you're leveling your character up, you're getting your pals up. And yeah, obviously the talk of it is it does look very much like Pokemon, but it plays very differently. And it's just little things like you can actually go out and like, if you kill them, then you pick up like their meat and you can like eat them as well. So you can eat the pals, you can capture the pals and you can put them in your base. Your bases get raided. And it's just the gameplay just cycles around from like building up your base, making sure you're looking after your pals and getting food in the food bins and everything, and you get like different things you can grow food. You then get your workbenches, you then get an upgraded workbench to get better equipment. You go out into the field, you can mine for ore, you can cut down trees for wood, all that sort of stuff, capture a few pals, head back to your base, like rest and do all that, and then go out again, and it just keeps you going. But the thing is, because every time you go to do something, it's not a huge commitment for that next bit. So you go, I'm going to finish now, but first I'm just going to feed my pals. Actually,
what level are you, Tim?
I was going to build this thing, and actually I need some more wood. And actually, you've been playing for an hour, and he's been
What level are you?
I think I'm like level 17 now, 17 or 18, I think. So
I hit
I've still got a
31.
ways to go.
I hit 31 last night. But yeah,
I've just got to a bit now. I'm getting some like bigger pals. Like I've captured a few things that look a bit more larger, at least.
Once you can get one that flies, get the seat, and then you can just fly everywhere now. So I can literally like fly about.
I need to build.
Trying to make the map. The map's all blocked. You can't see the map, can you?
Yeah,
so you can't see the map. So once you build that seat, try and open up your map and then go and take on there's boss pals. They're all like different levels around. And there's towers as well you've got to take over. But it's weird, isn't it? It's just like a Minecrafty kind of survival. And like you said, like I said before last time, it's what Pokemon should have been, basically. Do you know?
Yeah. I mean, if it was a Pokemon game, I think it would be amazing. The fact that it's like similar to, I don't know. I don't think that it's actually going to hit any copyright laws, because again, like the concept of it and the look of them is very similar, but it's not a direct copy. Like there's things that you could say, oh yeah, that's like looks like a Pikachu, but it looks like a Pikachu. It doesn't look like Pikachu. So they're not exactly the same. And like if you look at things like toys, T-shirts, things like that, there's such a fine line between it being an original picture and like a copy. And I just don't know if they've actually done anything that's going to get them in trouble. Like so far they haven't anyway.
I think they went through, like they had lawyers go through it with a fine tooth comb before they even released it.
The mad thing about it is I'm now being fed loads of videos about Power World.
Yeah, I'm getting it all the time.
I'm talking about it in front of my phone. So now my phone's going, you like Power World? Here's some content. And I did hear that the team that made it was like 10 people.
10 people.
Yeah,
apparently.
10 people watched the game. And apparently the lead developer had worked on Unreal Engine before, and he taught the other 9 people how to work on Unreal Engine. So
wow.
And their budget was 10 grand.
It's 10 grand, but it's still in beta, isn't it? It's not like it's not like a full release. But like you were saying, like we think they've used a bit of AI generation as well on that game.
Yeah.
But
something like that wouldn't shock me.
They've done some AI stuff, I think. I think this is a rumor as well. Somebody said they'd used AI to like recreate something from like other games, like Breath of the Wild. I think was seen as like being used, but I think that's just people talking, speculating. I don't think they've actually done that, but they might have used AI to fill in some gaps, which is how they've managed to make the game so quick. With such a small team. I think it's really impressive that a team of that size pulled off a game, and it's just fun to play. It's just the amount of time you spend in each area doing the different things, it breaks it up really nicely. It doesn't get tedious. And like if you're getting bored of building your base, like actually I'm going to go out and hunt some pals. And even if you go out and just kill them, then you're going to get your meat and stuff for it, and your wool and your materials. And if you go and capture them, then great. Like, I've just picked up some. I was given a tip to get some Vivic foxes, I think they're called, because if you leave them in your paddock, they have a tendency to dig up pal spheres. And then you can get free pal spheres without having to build them. So I've got some of those in my base at the moment. But there's loads of little things like that. There's loads of little tips of like different combinations of stuff you can do, what pals you put in your base, what they'll do. It's quite good. You build the saddles for them and you can ride them as you go around. Nice. I'm currently using a dire wolf at the moment to like ride around. But like Blanna said, I think I need to get a flyer and get a saddle for the flyer, and then I'll be off exploring the map.
That's what I'm doing. Do that, mate.
Yeah. So that's what I've been playing mostly, because I'm just getting sucked into it. It's just that I'm just going to do this one more thing, and then something else happens, and then next thing you know, you've been playing for an hour, and I just want to play it again. Like it keeps pulling me back in. It's got the right hooks.
Nice. That's awesome. Excellent. Couple of people in the chat there. Thank you for saying I'm back. I don't feel like I've been away, but I definitely haven't been here as regularly as I want to. I'm directing a play at the moment, and that's every Monday and Thursday is rehearsals. So unfortunately, that eats into a lot of time, and my wife will divorce me if I just don't see her for the next couple of months. But anyway, Mr. Blunners, what have you been playing?
So I've been playing. Obviously, I've been playing Power World as well, like Tim's just been talking about. So I won't need to go into too much depth about that. Saying got to about level 31 last night. Like Tim was saying, it's just mad. It just, like, before you know it, you've lost an hour, lost 2 hours. I'll just do this bit here, and the next thing you know, like, fuck, it's like gone midnight, better go to bed. What else? What else I've been playing? I've been playing Flea 2 demo. So I've played Flea 2 demo, which Mr. Alistair Lowe's put online. Just literally type it in Google. You can play it on anything. Play it off your phone. Play it off anything. But it is rock hard. I'll speak more about that on the Turtle Level K podcast. Also, I've had it for a while, but I only literally started playing it recently, and that is the Detective Pikachu game on Switch. But it's because it's like a chill out game.
Yeah.
And I'd started playing it, and I thought, this is a bit shit. But I've actually sat down and thought, you know what? Cup of coffee. There's kids have all buggered off to bed. I'll just give it an hour, and then I've loved it. It's so good. It's just like a chilled out game. It's more of like a reading text and trying to work out X, Y, and Z. But it's it's a lot better than I thought it was thought it was. I only got it because I really enjoyed the first one.
Yeah.
And the first one's kind of like, if you've seen the movie, first one's like carbon copy of that, basically. And that was only on 3DS, and that was quite good. So yeah, and that's what I've been playing on my Switch. And also I've played the demo of Mario and Donkey Kong the new one that comes out next week, I think it is.
What do you make of that so far?
So graphically and on the OLED screen looks amazing, like really good, like crystal clear. And then it was weird because I was playing it and then it started bringing back everything when I've got it on the DS. So it started bringing back to it's basically like a poor man's Lemmings, isn't it? It's like Lemmings eventually. But yeah, so it gives me that like Lemmings eyes. And the demo, I think you can only play 4 worlds. First one, which takes you like 2 seconds to do, and then there's only one where you actually got to try and get your little minis into the cage, which is like herding like your lemmings, if you know what I mean. So but it's free, so get on the eShop, download it, see what you think. It's like it's take you like 10-15 minutes max, I reckon, if that. But that gives you the gist of what this game is going to be like.
Yeah.
As it's like, the thing is for me, as it's first party Nintendo, I have to get it.
Of course you do. That's the
price.
law.
The price never comes down. Do you know what I mean? So it never loses its price. Even online, they don't lose their price tag. And you know that they've got that seal of quality. So yeah, I know I'm going to be coming back. I know I don't want to. I'm going to wait and stuff because I've still got what was it? Super Mario RPG, which I haven't opened yet. So yeah, which is my next game. Dude. So that's my next game after. Then I'll get Mario Minis, and then it'll be. You've got that Peach game coming. So yeah, so that is me done. I was saying I'll speak about Fleet 2 and that later on, but Power World is taking up a heavy chunk. Literally the last 2-3 days I've got on Detective Pikachu and really enjoyed it.
Nice.
So I've also been doing a bit of trying to catch on Mario Wonder. I know you guys are both finished, haven't you? I'm playing that at the moment. And then on my back burner, I've not opened it yet, is I've got Sonic Superstars on Switch. It's available on everything. So I thought I'll put it on. I thought I'd get it on Switch because I can play it on handheld if other people in the family want to watch TV. So I'll probably get a chunk more. So I thought I'd go for Switch.
Nice.
So I thought going to stick with Mario Wonder until I finished it and then go Sonic rather than jumping back and forth.
Makes sense.
That's the plan.
Absolutely makes sense. So I have continued the buying spree, which is never good. But I have been on a real Vita kick at the moment. If I see Vita games that I'm after for a good price, I will always jump on them because the Vita is starting to become a bit of a dick to collect for. So I got these on Facebook Marketplace. I think it was 25 quid for all of these, and one of them specifically I'm very pleased was included in that because the price on it is just stupid. So I picked up Spy Hunter, which I've not played. This sort of new reiteration. It's not really new as it's Vita, but Dynasty Warriors next, which I look forward to because they're just good fun hack and slash.
I do like a bit of Dynasty Warriors. Nice. They are good. I do like Dynasty Warriors games.
I like Hyrule Warriors, mate.
Yeah, it's good.
It's the Gundam. Have you played the Gundam one as well? There's a Gundam.
Gundam Warriors.
Yeah, that was good.
And then the one that was dead pleased because the price on this is not worth what people pay for it was Street Fighter X Tekken. I've got it on the Xbox, but to have it on Vita is just cool because everything looks nice on the Vita. So I will get round to those. With Game announcing that they were getting rid of all their, or not doing part exchanging and doing second-hand games anymore. Some games are now doing some fairly good deals. So I got this little lot for like 20 quid. I think it was in 3 for 2. It's been ages since I played a Star Ocean game. So we got Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness. Cracking title. So it's been ages since I played a Star Ocean. I don't know what happened to my copy of this, so I just got it again. It was Ukulele because I like that.
Yeah,
there's one world on that which isn't so good, but other than that, and Wild Hearts because I want to scratch that itch of Monster Hunter, which is basically what this is. It's just Monster Hunter. Then a game I haven't opened yet, but kind of looking forward to. It's meant to be a really half decent horror game. It's something called like Oxide Room 104.
Okay. Wow, never heard of that.
Neither had I. Just saw the cover, thought it was weird. Did a read up online and people online saying actually it's pretty good fun. But this game, this next one, this is the one that is taking up all my time. I'm not following any guides. I have managed to avoid all the spoilers about it when it came out. I missed it on the initial launch window, so yeah, I'm dead happy to be playing it now. Now there's no hype around it anymore, so I can just kind of ignore some of these controversies that people seem to think there is in this game. And that is Last of Us 2.
Oh, mate.
Yeah. I
wow.
didn't know how unready I was for this.
Yeah, fucking hell. It's just something that is unbelievable, that game.
What am I?
Have you played it, Tim?
I played the first one. I've not played the second one.
Oh, mate. So, you need to be on. You need to try and play it.
I'm on day 2 in Seattle on Abby's part of the story. Yeah. So I think I might be maybe just coming up for halfway through Abby's part.
It's amazing.
Unless something stratospherically stupid happens in the next, I don't know, 5, 10, I don't know how many hours are left. This could be the greatest video game ever made.
Yeah, the story is brilliant.
Yeah, just everything about this game is unbelievable. Graphically, I mean, apparently I've looked at some comparison videos and it doesn't look vastly different on the PS5. I think it's just some fidelity and, you know, the nicer frame rate and just everything is just a bit slicker and a bit smoother. But the game looks incredible. The story and the storytelling and the script is just on another level. And just everything about the shooting mechanics and just everything is just pretty much perfect. It could be the greatest video game ever made. Very, very possible for me. Unless something really stupid happens in the next few hours, it's definitely going to be up there for me.
I can tell you, nothing stupid happens, mate. Nothing. So yeah, it's unbelievable. I was saying, like, I'm surprised it's taking you that long to play it, but it caught me off guard because I played the first one and then it came out and I bought it day one and I dropped everything, just got dropped. Put that disc in, played it, and I thought, right, fucking hell, that is it. And I literally hammered it for the next couple of days. It was so good. And like you say, like everything, I'm jealous the fact that you getting to relive it. I'm like, I want to relive it. It's that good. Unbelievable.
Yeah. I'm trying hard to just try and pick all the little things you can find without using a guide and trying to do just really explore it on my own. I have no doubt I'm going to play through it again, and I'll just plonk it on like the easy setting and guide to maybe any of the tree I've missed. But it's just, I think the reason that I'm probably enjoying it so much now is I remember at the time I missed it on the first week that it came out, and just everywhere everyone was just talking about it, and it just seemed to fall. It's either really good or people seem to really hate it. And the things that people hated were story parts. And I was just like, right, I'm not playing it and everyone's talking about it. So the only way for me to just be able to enjoy this game will be to somehow back away from it all and get to play it at some point. I thought later that year, 4 years later, the remaster comes out and you're like, oh, I'm glad I waited. Yeah, it was at some point in 2020 when it came out. I can't remember the exact date, but I'm glad I waited, and I'm glad that there's no sort of hype around it anymore because you can kind of enjoy the story. It's yeah, I could gush about that game. It's
oh mate, I'm so jealous, especially I know what's coming as well. But yeah, it's so good. But I can't wait until you've come back on and you finished it, mate.
It's really special.
As I said, I'm waiting for the new TV. I can't wait. I love the TV show as well.
Oh, it's great.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that was good.
TV. It was so good. But the fact is, where I know the second series, I know the second game, I'm like, oh fuck, it can be even better. So like, I just know that, like I said, they've done so well, and hopefully they are still filming all that now. Yeah, I'm jealous that you get to relive all that again.
Yeah. Well, as soon as we're done here, I'll be jumping back in it again. I'm just loving the world. I really am. It's something special. Yeah. Won't gush about it anymore. Otherwise we won't get to gush about what's the next topic is. So yeah. So the next topic, it came. Some people said it came with a bit of a whisper. I thought it landed with a bit of a punch, and that was Sony's State of Play. I'm going to presume that you guys all managed to watch it, absorb it, take it all in. Before we dive into too much about it, the thing that I took away from it most of all is the amount of new IPs. People keep going.
Same,
I won't say too much then, because I'll let
I'll
let you jump on it.
Just agreeing, yeah.
But there's lots of people that are constantly going on about, gaming's just remakes, remasters, and no one's got faith in new studios, or no one's got faith in new IPs. Sony's last couple of states of play have been very new IP heavy. To the point where I must imagine if people are still drawing, yeah, that as well. If people are still in that weird camp where you have to pick one console and then hate everything else, it must really suck to be one of those people right now who doesn't want to, enjoy a PlayStation title, because there are some belting games coming out. So Tim, state of play.
I'm going to say the same thing as you, is that we've got some new IPs, which is nice. And the problem with it I have as well, though, and I'm part of the problem, I think, because I don't think it looks good, but we've seen a lot of games that look like, what's that game? I'm going to butcher the names. There's the one with the woman with all the aliens, and you can see like there's bits where there's crafting, leveling up, and look like a bit of a hack and slash.
Stellar Blade.
Stellar Blade.
Yeah. Now take that as an example. Like that looks good, but not going to know how good it is until I've played it, really, because lots of games look like that. Is it going to be that original? And the problem I've got now is because I pay for things like Game Pass, I have access to all these games. What's going to make me drop like 60 quid on a new launch title? And unfortunately, sometimes if it's an existing IP, you go, oh, well, it's an Assassin's Creed game. I know I like Assassin's Creed. Oh, it's another Batman game. I like all the Batman games. You're more likely to just go, yeah, okay, I'll get that. Whereas something like this, it's like, actually, am I going to make the plunge to buy this and start off a new IP on the ground floor and enjoy it? And it's just that, what's it going to come out price-wise? Because I reckon that's going to be a 60 quid game easy, isn't it?
If not 70.
So I'm not sure about this one, but the last Ronin I thought looked really my kind of thing. I thought that looked really cool, like the dueling thing with the samurais. I thought that looked really cool. Looks very nice graphically as well. So I'm all for that. Bit of a shame that we only had one VR game. There's that Metro something.
Yep.
Horror in VR, first-person horror game with a bit of movement stuff. I'm all for it. I still haven't made the plunge to get a PS VR 2.
No, I can't justify it at the moment.
I would like to, because I do like my VR, and I think I would get a lot of use out of it. But I think I need a month where there's no surprise bills. Do you know what I mean? Like if there's anything like, need to fix the car needs to pass the MOT, no new games for Tim. But if there's any months where it's like, actually, I've got enough money spare, I think I will get a PSVR 2. I just need to wait for the right moment.
Agree.
I just want to say, David, I'll start that question. We'll talk about it at the end, because that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else grab you from state of play?
I don't think those are the things that jumped out to me. I was a huge fan of Sonic Generations. It was right. So Sonic Generations with Sate. I think the best Sonic game that's come out in the last few years was Sonic Mania, and that's just like old school Sonic for me. That's kind of the Sonic that I like. So I don't think I'm really into that, but I think this intrigues me. I don't know if I would get it, but I'm intrigued to watch more and see what people think of it. I think the one that stand out for me is The Last Ronin. Obviously, I've not mentioned Final Fantasy Part 2. I think that's going to obviously be a given that I'm going to get that, because I'm along for the ride and need to carry on with it. I'm hoping it's going to have made some improvements from the last one, because as much as I enjoyed it, there's a few things I found disappointing. That's just my personal preference. I know we disagree on that one, but just a few bits I didn't like. So I'd like to see something better this time, or just more to my tastes. And then obviously Silent Hill.
Yes.
Silent Hill 2. So
yes, which we will get to. I'm both excited and nervous in equal measure. Cool.
How good does this look like, by the way?
It does look good, but do you know what I mean, though? If you look at that looks like, I don't know, something like Mass Effect or any sort of game. Like, you're in space, there's cool technology, there's cool enemies. Is it going to be worth dropping, 60 or 70 quid on?
I hope so. For me, it reminds me a lot of control wise anyway, from just looking at it. It looks a bit like Bayonetta, which I am all in on, because the control system for Bayonetta is absolutely stonking. I was going to say stellar, but I didn't want to drop a terrible pun this early on. But Bayonetta is just so much fun to chain those combinations together with, and this sort of looks like it could be a bit hack and slashy, which I'm totally fine with. Sometimes when a game's too much something, you kind of lose the fun element of it.
So hack and slash can be very good if it's done right. Like you need a little bit of it, as long as it's not just walking around bashing X or something, and there's actually some thought process into it. Then it's all good. Like the combat in Spider-Man games, I thought was spot on. Like that's a really good. You're having to think about it a lot, and you have to press different combinations of buttons, but you're very much in control, and it's very smooth. So you're very much making conscious movements throughout it. Even if someone was to walk in and you playing the game and just saw the screen, they'd be like, what the hell is going on? This looks way too complicated. How are you doing that? But with the control in your hand, it's like, actually you can quite easily move from one set of moves into another and mix things up quite nicely. So I think that kind of sets a good standard for combat on that sort of thing. This is the Sonic X Shadow.
I think this looks really good.
Shadow. I liked Generations, but
I recently bought Generations and streamed it on TikTok a couple of weeks, and I quite enjoyed it. And I think this is going to be. I quite enjoy this. This was a bit. I didn't think this was something they were going to do. Came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Especially when you see Shadow come out of nowhere, here, boom. But I'm quite looking forward to this one.
I think just for me, I don't really like the running like with the camera behind him sort of levels. Like I said, I've already picked up Sonic Superstars because that's a side-scrolling Sonic game. That's kind of when I go for Sonic games, that's the kind of thing I go for. I'm not really into this sort of style Sonic game, but I see the appeal though. I do get it.
Did you ever play Sonic Colors, Tim?
No, the one that I played, I didn't play loads of them. Like I played a little bit of Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast, but I played Sonic Heroes.
Yep,
which again wasn't great, but it was fun. I enjoyed playing
an on-rail thing more. Isn't it, that one?
And I was like, I wouldn't be promoting it loads and highly recommending it, but I enjoyed playing it. It wasn't a bad game. It was just a bit naff in places.
If you see Sonic Colors in a sale, that is pretty much a 3D Sonic game. Give that a go. That is probably I haven't played Sonic Frontier, even though it's still in the back in the cellophane. But Sonic Colors is a really well done Sonic 3D game where you're behind the camera for most of it. It's really good. It's really charming as well. You might enjoy it. You might not as well. You might go.
Can I say about this as well? Death Stranding. I've not played Death Stranding. I don't really know a lot about it. I've just heard mixed reviews of people saying, it's amazing or it's a walking simulator.
It is a walking simulator.
I've not really seen much about it. And I was watching this trailer thinking, it looks pretty cool. And then when the guy gets out the guitar and starts playing guitar and blasting you with a guitar, I was like, no, I'm out. I was like, no. You've gone from like really super realistic, really good graphics. But it's like then he starts fighting someone with a guitar. I'm like, what is this? I don't know. Maybe I'm being harsh there, but it just put me off. I was like, nah, I'm out.
Death Stranding, the first one, is absolutely 100% a walking simulator. You can build roads and use cars, and that will sort of get you around places quicker. And there's other ways to traverse the terrain and stuff. But it is a walking simulator. You're a postman, so there's no getting around that. But the story is really high concept science fiction, and that for me is what really sells this game. I am very, very excited for the second part.
Ridiculous.
It's very rare that I say Kojima is. Yeah, I very rarely say that Kojima
is going with that. Like that's just weird, man.
I very rarely say that he is a god. I know lots of people, there's t-shirts you can get that says Kojima is God, and some people really do worship the ground he walks on. I like Metal Gear a lot, but I do think Metal Gear needs an editor. There's too much waffle, and there's too much I don't know if it's I don't know. He's the way he writes women bothers me. But Death Stranding, maybe it's because he had Guillermo del Toro on board with him and maybe helped write the story with him a little bit. The story of Death Stranding is excellent. It's really, really good. and it almost takes center stage, and you going from A to B as the postman is kind of almost incidental. It does have lots of relevance, and by the end of the game, like when I completed the game, I was absolutely in tears. It was emotionally draining.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet, and I was in CEX today, and I picked up 2 other games which were because they were metal cases. I've posted earlier, and I was looking at it, and I'm there like, what do I take the do I get it? Do I not?
Yeah.
Just because at the minute I just know I ain't got, and it's, as I say, I remember like Dorbs and Ryan in the chat going on about it just being like a postman game. So that's what kind of put me up. That's what kind of put me off on it. But when you look at this and you look how you just look like what's gone into it, I don't know. It's going to be good.
It's very cool, very, very cool, and all the women are written very well in this as well, which I liked. So Death Stranding 2, I'm totally in, like to the point where I'd consider getting the director's cut on PS5 and playing through it again beforehand.
Oh wow.
It's really good. Very, very cool story. Would make an excellent
Look at that.
TV series on Amazon or something if they were to adapt it. I think it would make a really cool TV series. It's just very cinematic as well. Things happen like shots like this sort of thing. In the original game, you'd be walking forwards in the third person, the camera will just pan out all that way, and then a particular piece of music will just start playing. A little title will appear in the corner, which is the song, and it's almost like a piece of cinema for you to just enjoy for 2 or 3 minutes while you walk. It's I loved it. It's pretty special. So I will let Kojima have his day on that one, because it was genuinely cool. So dead excited for Death Stranding 2. Oh, Dave, we're all mourning the PT demo. I still have it on my PS4.
What was it? There we go. Sorry, I'm just going to put this on. I was looking for it, but it is. Oh shit! I've gone on the wrong one. Silent Hill, the short message.
Yes.
We haven't mentioned that one yet, have we?
We haven't. So there was two doses of Silent Hill goodness. The first one was a shadow drop of a short message, which is a free game on PlayStation. I think it's only PS5. It's free. I don't know. Maybe it's free on PS4 as well.
You got a chance to play it?
Yes. I think I'm on maybe the second chapter now. And it's cool. It's very atmospheric, and some of the stills from it are the stills that people thought was a leaked Silent Hill game last year.
Okay.
So it's like all of this stuff being first person and you using a phone as your light is very interesting. I'm going to be intrigued to see where the story goes and how it actually ties into Silent Hill. But at the moment, it has me intrigued. So
it looks great. Like, it just looks really nice.
Yeah, it's not up there with AAA games, I would say, when you get into the details. So like some of the animations on people's mouths when they talk and the voice movement and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Look at the phone. Look at the phone going nuts there. Do you see that?
The
screen's going mad.
It is very atmospheric. There is a sense of panic that comes in. The soundtrack is classic Silent Hill. So yeah, it's free. Who can complain? It's free. But it's a very nice little amuse-bouche while we wait for some of these other bigger Silent Hill titles to come.
A Silent Hill amuse-bouche.
There you go. See,
what's not to like about that?
They should stick that on the advert for it. RGR, a Silent Hill amuse-bouche. Yeah, it's cool, very cool. And then the Silent Hill 2 trailer, a new Silent Hill 2 trailer played out. Which I was
trying to get it ready here.
I was so excited that they finally showed us something from Silent Hill 2, because it's been so long since that big, hoo-ha where they were announcing games and TV shows and movies. And I am both excited by how this looks, and there's some concern from me, and the concern is predominantly to do with the combat. Graphically, it looks pretty good. I am in. I don't mind James Sutherland's new look. I think. Just look at it. That is.
Yeah. Wow.
It's everything that I think a Silent Hill fan wants from a new Silent Hill game, even if the new game is a remake. But the things I am concerned about is the combat. Whenever you see James hitting something, it doesn't feel like it's got any weight behind it. It kind of just feels a little bit hollow. And when he shoots his gun, again, there doesn't seem to be any weight behind that, and the noise and the sounds just, maybe it's just all pre-finalized game, but it just, something about that doesn't feel right or sound right. Everything else looks pretty fucking good. And again, I've seen a few people talk about this, and I do agree. Silent Hill 2 has combat in it, but it's not a combat game. So it was really a weird choice as to why they were showing off so much combat in the trailer for it. And it still says in development. There's no there's no release date. So again, I mean, I'd rather they took their time with it and it come out in 2026 and it'd be great. But there's a couple of concerns. I'd like to see a more story-driven trailer rather than a gameplay combat trailer. Sure. But I am still on board. I don't care. It's Silent Hill. The fact that there's a new version of Silent Hill 2 in the makings is unreal. Cannot wait.
That's where I'm getting PS3 Siren vibes.
Yes, I would agree. Yep, Siren the Blood Curse, a highly underrated horror game, I think. That's a great little title. What was one of the other titles that you guys?
There's one here about? I've just found it. There's one called Judas.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So
if Mag's still in the chat, man, Ken Levine is back. Oh. Good grief. Yes, so good to see Ken Levine making another game, because Bioshock 2 and Bioshock Infinite are just different levels of gameplay and storytelling. It's just, so to see him doing a game, I wouldn't have even needed to have seen the trailer. If they just said Ken Levine's making a new game, it's called Judas. Like, yep, cool. Here's 70 quid. Just take it. Take it now. So, yeah, I'm all in on this. This looks just as quirky as Bioshock did. So, yeah, can't wait to see.
Really quirky, doesn't it? That's the one thing I thought when watching these trailers. I did think it was really quirky.
Can't wait to see how it pans out. It looks like quality Bioshock combat as well. Looks like you've got some sort of power up for your arm, and there's going to be an air of mystery about it as well, I'm sure, that will unravel as you play through. Yeah, totally solid. Cool graphics as well. Like, not hyper real, but just slightly cartoony again, like Bioshock. So there's an element of fun to it. Yeah,
like saying that. Yeah, it just looks great, doesn't it?
I'm sure it'd be violent as hell.
Yeah, it does look very violent, doesn't it?
Got to be blown.
I'm trying to think of any other. I'm trying to think of some of the other games that are on there.
I quite like the look of that. The last Ronin, what was it? I think it was called
Last Ronin.
Samurai. Yeah, Samurai one. And there was that Metro game as well, the VR one.
Yeah.
That Metro game looks good, but it looks like a lot of other VR games. It looks like a kind of what you come to expect from like a first-person adventure game.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like maybe a bit like a survival horror, and it works really well in VR. And I've not played any games like that I've not enjoyed, but I don't know if that's really offering anything we haven't seen already. Is it going to make me go out and buy the PS VR 2? I'm still kind of feel like there's something on the cusp. We're going to get the game soon, which is going to really make me want to jump on the VR 2.
Yeah,
I feel like we need a big one. We need a really big game that's going to go right. Now is the time to buy the VR 2 if you want to get like the next level of game for your VR.
I think the best thing they could do is find a way to bring that price down. That will shift a few units.
Yeah, I think so. So I'd really love to see like some sort of multiplayer thing as well. Maybe maybe not quite MMO, but maybe imagine something like Destiny in VR.
That'd be great.
VR 2. That'd be good, right? Like a shoot and loot kind of game. You're jumping on with your mates. You're doing raids and stuff.
Or even VR, if that even if that Foam Stars, like I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that because it's basically Splatoon. But if Foam Stars was a first-person VR game, I think that would be kind of cool. So yeah, could be interesting. Big one for you, Blunners. Dave the Diver featuring Godzilla.
Yes.
So yeah, Dave. Yeah.
What?
So it was Ryan that got me into Dave the Diver. It's like saying I'll find it on it, but it wasn't something I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. And when you saw it kept getting all these like accolades and it was up for the game, I was thinking it can't be that good. So I remember it was only like a 10 at the time, and I ended up just downloading it, and it's so good, love it. So yeah, this is the trailer. Quick, it's only a minute long. So it's just like this new like pixely playing a PS5 there. But it's all pixely graphics, and he's a guy who normally upgrades all your weapons, and you normally go in, capture fish, and then sell them in your sushi bar. But it's great. It's such a great little game.
And now, for some reason or somehow, it's got Godzilla in it.
Yeah. So as I say, it's only now a minute long, but yeah, for some reason they're now bringing Godzilla in. So it has all kinds of weird concepts, like you find mermaid people, and then
I saw the shark with octopus legs at one point. So yeah,
and you have like it has little boss battles and that every now and then. But now let's bring it in Godzilla, and it always. But when it goes to the bosses, it always does like a little pan out, and it has like their name of the boss and that. So yeah, that is coming as DLC May.
Madness, madness. That is the world we live in, my friends.
People
Dave the Diver featuring Godzilla.
Foam Stars is free on PSN.
It is. It is. In fact, just while that has come up, and yes, I do agree, Mag. I think it's going to be fun, and then it's going to die a death. We don't have it as a segment, but I can quickly throw out there the PS Plus monthly free games. If you subscribe to the basic service, is Steel Rising, Foam Stars, and Roller Dome, which I am dead buzzing for. So it's a very good selection. So yes, Foam Stars could be interesting. I will obviously give it a go. It's free, so never pee on a free thing really. Just see what it's like. But it does look like Splatoon to me, and Splatoon has a certain charm to it. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting though. Anything else before we dive into the next topic, which I think will cause interesting discussion?
Dragon's Dogma. I was going to say, Blooders, have you got any clips of the samurai game?
Rise of the Ronin.
Hang on.
Yeah, Rise of the Ronin. That was last one. Yeah, Rise of the Ronin.
I'll have a look. See what I can work.
That looks like it's got good combat in it. There's something very appealing about that one to me.
Also, Until Dawn remaster.
Yeah. I'd be into that. I liked Until Dawn. I'd play that again.
Yeah.
It's all right.
It was right. Yeah. Good thing about that as well, it's quite a nice one to sit back and play with, like I played through that with my wife, who's not really a gamer, but it was that decision-making thing. It was like watching the movie, making decisions. It was quite a good one to like couch co-op with people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and it's one of those things where like you can't really lose the game, can you? Like the game, you don't get game over. It's just like you live with your decisions, and there's like negative outcomes to stuff, but you don't necessarily die and have to go back and do it again.
Yeah.
So yes, this is your Ronin game, which looks kind of Assassin's Creed-y.
Yeah, it does.
It's got a cool art style.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's not quite real, if you know what I mean, but it's real enough, but also fantastical enough that it's it's interesting.
Does look very good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's
certainly got some battles there.
Yeah.
It's got a little air of Tenchu about it.
And also, it's just this battle bit here. You've always got the open world roaming. It's you're dueling with another warrior. It's not like that hack and slash where there's like lots of enemies and you can just like mow through 5 people at once. You're going to be having someone put up a fight when it's one-on-one. I kind of like that.
It's giving me Tenchu vibes, like you said, Ollie. Definitely.
Yes, yeah, Tenchu, definitely.
It's got
as much as I love Tenchu, I go back and play it, and it's not very good.
It's not aged well.
Such fond memories of playing it as a kid. I remember getting it at Christmas, but this is amazing. I've gone back and played that. I've got to replay through Tenchu. I was like, oh, actually, this is really bad. Like, I think I was just so into it at the time, I just ignored all of its flaws.
It's just not aged well. Like, I still think it's a good game for its time, but it's not aged well.
Yeah.
When you look at things like Sekiro and all those sorts of things, you're like, it's not that. But yeah, it's another
This looks like
tremendously cool game.
Yeah.
There is a black and white samurai game, side scroller. I can't think what that's called. Something
I know what you mean.
Yumi.
Yeah,
but that looks great as well. There's some really what a time to be into. Was
that
samurai.
Free on PlayStation a few months, like last year at some point?
I think it was.
Probably still in my library, so I would like to go back and play that.
Yeah, I'm into it. I'm into it. So yeah, I thought State of Play was really pretty solid actually. Yeah, so we got Rise of the Ronin as a new IP, Legendary Tales, Judas. I'm not going to count Silent Hill, V Rising, Foam Stars, Xenia Zone Zero, Stellar Blade. Like, there's some cool IPs there that could be super interesting. So yeah,
will we still be talking about those IPs in a few years to come? We'll talk about number 3, number 4 coming out.
Possibly.
It'll be interesting to see will they stand the test of time and keep coming back.
We shall see. We shall see. Yeah. Right. Next topic, which will create some interesting discussion. So the new details about Xbox's plans to bring more first-party Xbox games to rival console platforms seems to have emerged. There's all these rumors that Microsoft are going to stop making consoles and that Game Pass is going to be the console. I mean, it's interesting. It's, if you're a diehard Xbox fan and you hate PlayStation and you hate Nintendo and your Xbox till you die and all this stuff, then yeah, this news is gonna suck, especially when they've just spent out all that money to secure Blizzard and Bethesda and all these titles, and then the Bethesda title, the first massive Xbox exclusive, is rumored to be porting to PlayStation fairly soonish. For an Xbox diehard, that's got to suck. Because you don't see any of the PlayStation exclusives necessarily making their way to Trek to Yomi. That's what it is. You don't see many of the PlayStation big hits making their way to Xbox. They do make their way to PC, but not to Xbox. So this is interesting. Blunners, what is your take?
So I think it's shit, but I also think it's the way the world's going to go. Reportedly, PlayStation are outselling Xbox 2-1, so they're not selling enough consoles. So they've got to do something. Also, I do think this is the future, because once are you going to need consoles when you're older? Is it everything going to be done for an app? Do you know what I mean? Because your physical media, I don't think will be around forever as well. So remember when they brought out the Xbox One and they were saying originally you had to connect, you wanted it to run, they wanted you to run your TV through it, and they wanted everything to be online, and it kind of didn't work for them. But now kind of everything is slowly going to how they were originally, their original plan. So are they too far ahead of the game? Obviously the subscription service is a guaranteed income they're bringing in. So guess what? If we can widen our net, we can bring in more income, which means we can, do you know what I mean? You can understand why they're doing it. But it's just frustrating because I feel, as I'm not an Xbox only, I obviously have them all, but that was the reason I get an Xbox, is because I can't play them games on anything else, like Forza Horizons. Like as I said, they're reportedly saying that it'll be Hi-Fi Rush, which I haven't really played, and what was the Sea of Thieves?
Sea of Thieves.
They're looking to be their first games that they're going to bring over to either Nintendo Switch and PlayStation.
That's a good giggle, Sea of Thieves, actually. If you've not played it, that is good.
Yeah, and I think obviously you can understand what they're trying to do. They obviously haven't sold enough consoles. They're not bringing in enough revenue. How can we look at expanding this? I know they do a PC only Game Pass, but as I say, if I was an Xbox only fanboy, I would not be happy at all. You're thinking, well, what am I? Why? Obviously, this will all be. Obviously, they have said that I think it's Thursday. They will be coming out, and that's when the streamers and actually telling people what's going on. But they have had a lot of backlash. Either they're going to try and tone this down a little bit, or are they actually? Do you know what I mean? Are they actually going to go? Well, sorry, we don't care that you guys aren't happy. We're just going to see you later. We're all going to go. Like we're just going to give all our exclusives to everyone else. So like we were saying, I think Dave says here perfectly is that when we spoke about Indiana Jones and was only going to be Xbox, and now that could seamlessly be on everything. So yeah,
and I just while we're on the topic of Indiana Jones, I don't know if I'm in the minority here, but I don't think that game looks very good. I think graphically it looks weird. Harrison Ford just looks weird. It doesn't look like a current generation game. It looks like a very early PS4 Xbox One game to me. And I just don't know if people are just excited because it's going to be a cool Indiana Jones experience, but am I alone in thinking that game doesn't look particularly good at the moment?
Yeah, I quite like it. But I think, as I say, and they've done little things where it then pans back, doesn't it? But as it's, yeah, I think it looks all right. Not like shite, but not like when you look at some of them PlayStation games we've just been looking at. Yeah, you can see obviously the PlayStation ones look a lot better. But yeah, let me just quickly bring it up on screen.
Like, I'll tell you what it reminds me of. It reminds me of a cutscene from Uncharted.
Yeah, it does actually. Saying that.
It looks like this kind of looks okay. Like this all looks good, but then you see Indy's face, especially when he talks, and you just like it looks like Drake's Fortune on PS3.
And like, graphically, compared to like some of the trailers we just watched, like if you compare the faces to what we saw in Death Stranding 2, it's very like it's not bad, but that looks more like the previous gen. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd expect that to be on PS4 rather than PS5. Which isn't a huge leap graphically, really, but just if you put that side by side by what we just watched for Death Stranding 2, like they just don't look quite right, the faces.
No, is that because they have the X and the S? They have to try and make sure that everything works on both. Yeah, because then they're hitting all their audience, which is kind of shot themselves in the foot, releasing a less powerful version of their own console. It seems a bit stupid when you think about it.
Yeah, but, I mean, atmospherically and all the surroundings and stuff, that all looks great in the way everything moves, but it's just the faces and that guy there, like this whole bit there, that looks like LA Noire.
Yeah,
you know, when they were like, look at the realistic face movements, and it will allow you to deduce whether or not somebody's telling a lie or not. That's what that reminds me of.
Xbox 360, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Jeez.
So I don't know. Maybe this is just a really early look at the world. There's something about it that just doesn't sit right. You know, if it comes to PlayStation, will I play it? Yeah, of course I will. It's Indiana Jones. But initially when I saw that, I wasn't like, oh, well, I need to go and buy an Xbox. And I'm quite glad that I didn't think that either, because, well, there's a possibility that it's coming to PlayStation. So I
think it's that thing as well, as like Xbox have literally, or Microsoft rather, have been buying up a lot of stuff, and now they're making this move. And it feels to me like it is more of a financial business decision more than the direction the company wants to go in. I think they're just going, look, we've got this many people that have got, was it Blood said 2-1? So like,
apparently,
if it's 2-1, they're going to open up a much larger audience. They've just bought all of these different IPs and these different brands. They could sell a lot more. The problem I then see, there's that speculation of what does that mean for them in the console market? Will we see another Xbox, or will they just go Game Pass is what we do, but you can get Game Pass on other platforms? I just don't know. I hope it doesn't go that way, because it is nice to have different consoles, but also from a consumer point of view, if there isn't another console, when we get to like, I don't know, PS6 it's PS6 and Nintendo Switch 3, whatever we end up with, I'm always going to buy the Nintendo stuff because it's completely different ballpark, isn't it, to the others? But there is that thing of, do you go Xbox, do you go PlayStation? If you have enough money, you can get both, but I think a lot of us buy one or the other. And like I say, it's the exclusive titles that make you jump. Like I used to be very much PlayStation, and I jumped from PlayStation to Xbox around the 360 because of Gears of War, because of Halo. Like there's a few games coming out, it's like, I want to play these, I want to get an Xbox. And that's where I went. And the thing that brought me back to PlayStation was Spider-Man and Final Fantasy VII remake. So it's like, it was the games that brought me in. Like some people, you know, it's specs, they want to make sure they've got the best running machine technically and things like that. But if there's exclusive titles that I want to play, I'll be like, oh, that'll be the tipping point for me.
But the specs, if you go to specs, it is the actual Xbox X, isn't it? Which is supposed to be a higher spec. But it's not going to get the most out of it if you're having to create games downgradable for an S. So.
It's bizarre. So, you know, them bringing more first party games to rival platforms, like maybe Microsoft knows something we don't, you know, maybe they're thinking of it as just this big stunt whereby, I think it might have been you that said it earlier, Tim, where if they release everything on everything, then not only do they own it, but they make shit tons of money out of it as well.
I think it's going to be a financial move.
But it does mean at the moment that you're as an Xbox fan, you're kind of being forgotten about. Meanwhile, you know, Sony over here, after they bought Bethesda and bought all these other things, you know, I genuinely thought, crap, that's, you know, there's a huge possibility here that Elder Scrolls and Fallout and Doom and all these games that I really enjoy are going to be Xbox only, and maybe I'll just have to get an Xbox to play them, because this generation is the first generation where I haven't gone in on both, because it's a very expensive time to be alive. So I just went with my PlayStation, because that's normally what I prefer. And every time I'm like, oh, this year is the year that I'll get a new Xbox. And just when I think about it, they announced this, and you're like, all right, I won't then. Maybe I'll just hold fire.
They'll skip like going for like an Xbox Series S Pro, and it'll just go straight to an Xbox whatever. You know, they're not going to call it Xbox 5, are they? They're going to call it Xbox.
Or just call it Xbox
OX.
But there's but this isn't, like you say, we have seemed to have forgotten that they've brought Super Lucky's Tale out on all other consoles. They do own Minecraft. They do own what's the one that's just come out as well? I mean, there is other Cuphead. So there is, they have released other titles on other systems, but it just seems like, I think they're only testing the water, because when you read it like Hi-Fi and Sea of Thieves, not really too fussed about that. But if it's then going to be like, then it says on the same report that it could be Gears of War franchise, Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, and then it says, do you know what I mean? Games like that, you're thinking, well, hang on a minute, they should be a console. They should be your console exclusives. So,
I mean, we've said before, it would be really interesting to have three companies taking a radically different approach to gaming, and then you have just this really obscure wealth of choice. You know, Microsoft, they're not going to go bankrupt anytime soon. So, you know, maybe they are going to do this digital only type experience for their games. And maybe PlayStation will see that as a, you know, an opportunity to do something else. Maybe they will continue with physical hardware, but still give you the option of the digital version as well, and kind of keep it going like that. And Nintendo will just, you know, skip circles around them doing what Nintendo do.
We need competition, don't we? That's what you need. Competition drives better games. And if there isn't any in that high end, it then kind of defeats the objective, you know what I mean? Which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting few years, seeing what happens. Is this the last generation of consoles with physical media? I still don't know how that's going to work completely. Like, I know it works on PC because you've got Steam and you've got all that stuff, and that just seems to have been a natural progression for PC gamers. but I don't see how it's going to work for the console market yet until they get those prices down, or the services that they offer are so impeccably good, like Game Pass. I can't see a digital only game society working for console gamers. I don't like the idea of never owning it.
I think it's that flip, isn't it? It's like, I don't mind a subscription service. I think that's an upfront deal. You pay a subscription, you get access to the library, and that library changes. You get new games, they take stuff off. I think that's fine because you're paying for the service, you're not buying the games. What I don't like is doing digital only, downloading a game you paid for, and then it's never quite knowing, well, one day they might just switch off the store and it'll be gone. Whereas if I bought a physical copy, I've got it then. You know, but when it comes to online, I'm happy for a subscription, not so much with buying from an e-store.
But you think they're not catering to us? They're going to be catering to this new age that don't give a shit about physical media. And do you know what I mean? Like I was just saying to you off air, like about a topic we might not get a chance to talk about later, but it was like my son, for instance, just plays Fortnite, doesn't play any other game, puts all his money into that. Doesn't give a shit. There's never been a physical version of it. It's the only game he plays. Pumps money into it all the time. All his money goes on V-Bucks just to buy some skins and a couple of weapons and stuff, and it like skins. And it's just like, do you know what I mean? This pay to play model, and it just seems like we were saying, once we're old and can't play anymore, they've then got to adapt, haven't they? But it's just annoying because like you're saying, like, I don't like the idea of not owning something I've bought. Do you know what I mean? It's just odd.
It's different if it's the subscription, because when people say, "Oh, you don't own your movies through Netflix," and you're like, "Well, yeah, but they don't pretend that I do. It's just I pay for the vast amount of entertainment that they can provide me at any time of the day that I want." Whereas video games, like if it goes, I mean, that will be the downfall of console gaming, I think, is if they have a million different subscription services for video games. You know, because there's already the Ubisoft one, isn't there? So Ubisoft have got their own. You know, then if EA have got their own,
could it be just
2K get their own, and
Ollie, could it be an app that's on your TV when it get your TV, and you just Bluetooth a Bluetooth controller to it?
I mean, if that's
being streamed that way,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, if that's how it goes, that's how it goes.
Connection, you know,
exactly like you do with Netflix and that now, isn't it?
Yeah, as long as you've got good enough speed in your connection, you can play, you know, cloud gaming.
I mean, if that's how it goes, that's how it goes. But it's making sure that the games are available to you through one service, the service that you choose. Because if you have to pay £10 a month for Ubisoft, £10 a month for EA, £10 a month for 2K, Disney, and then your Netflix, your Disney, your this, your that,
you're doing it now. Do you know what I mean?
Like people just won't do it. I know they won't do it because people don't do it already. You know, people are already saturated with streaming services. So people just generally have one or two that they really like, and everything else is just, I'll just miss it or download, stream it.
But you think our Xbox trying to jump ship, get our games on, then you know their software, you know their games. So when this eventually comes, oh yeah, I'm going to play the Xbox because I've always had that. Do you know what I mean? I know the Gears games. I know the Hi-Fi Rush. I know the Sea of Thieves. Do you know what I mean? Are they trying to jump ship now? Get you enticed, and at this age. So then, when it eventually does go, if it does go app based or anything like that, well, I've always had the Xbox. I've always played that on my PlayStation, or I've always played that on my Switch. Do you know what I mean? What happens in that eventually does. It's 8 o'clock UK time tomorrow. Try and make sure Thursday, sorry, and try and make sure we can see it. But
it's going to be interesting. This I think is going to be, and I've only just thought of this in my mind from where we've been chatting to you guys about it. I've been reading up about it and just sort of listening to people talk about it, but only from chatting to you guys about it have I just suddenly had a click in my mind where I suddenly thought it's either going to be a fizzle, as in there's just going to be fuck all, or this could be the first start of of them changing the console gaming market and saying this is our plan moving forward.
Because there was always rumors on the Switch ages ago. Always heard about it. Oh yeah, we're gonna because they did partner with like Nivea Shield, because they brought a couple of like games to Nivea because they use their parts X, Y, and Z. But there was rumors ages ago about them bringing Game Pass. I'm talking like maybe 2-3 years ago. So is this only just finally coming out now? Well, like you're saying, if you're an Xbox owner like I am, I ain't happy. I'm not happy with this. I've just re-upped Game Pass mainly for me and my brother over in the States. He can use a VPN and log in as me when he wants. But do you know what I mean? Just so he can get to see what some games are like at the minute. But yeah, it's just mad.
We shall see. In a couple of weeks' time, we'll be back to talk about it, and I'd imagine if it's a big bang and not just a little.
We'll see if we were way off.
a little fart, a little trump in the wind, then maybe we'll dedicate the whole episode to it, because it's clearly potentially going to be something or nothing, and we shall see. So very, very quickly, last couple of topics before we get to. I know there's a couple of questions we got starred. Sony has now heavily discounted the PS5 Slim in Europe. So what was the price of it, Blunners? You had some numbers there.
Yeah, it was £469 English conversion, and they've reduced it down to £404. So they have heavily discounted. So it is euros. It is €549, gone down to €474.99 apparently. So it's a big discount on there. It's about 50 quid, 60 quid. So which has not been selling well enough in Europe, because I know everyone says that the UK is PlayStation territory. It's always been really high success rate over here, and obviously Japan and like that. So is like mainland Europe not on it as much as we are.
Could be interesting. Reducing that price is not a bad thing. This current generation have been particularly expensive at the get-go. So yeah, reducing that cost down a bit for the new models, I think that's a good idea. Intriguing.
They reckon the original place. They reckon it shipped 22.6 million units over a 12-month period. So,
I mean, that sounds good. I don't know if that is good. It sounds impressive to me.
And it says PS5 launched in November 2020 and has surpassed 50 million sales in December, according to Sony. That's when they reckon it was around a 2-to-1 on Xbox as of the end of 2023. So
hot dang.
Yeah.
It's PlayStation taking up all those microchips, isn't it? That's what it was. That's why they're outselling everyone. They've bought all the microchips. Okie dokie. Next little tidbit of news. 2K Games is apparently looking to partner with FIFA. FIFA have finally found someone that they potentially want to work with to carry that FIFA branding, seen as EAFC, are just doing that.
So I was saying this isn't anything confirmed. This is a rumor at the minute. But if this is true, be prepared for the pay to play style if you want to go on. So obviously 2K, they do the WWE games. They also do their massive sports game. They do is the NBA basketball one, and it has a massive online server, massive online base. It is huge in America, but it's a case of if you want to, because you can go online with your character and you've got to like try and do your stat points, but it mainly comes down to paying to play to get them stat points higher to make your player better, X, Y, and Z. So I can understand that why EA stepped away, because FIFA wanted crazy money for it at the time. But I know certain people over here in the UK that only have like PlayStations just to play FIFA. They don't play anything else. They play FIFA all year round and then buy the new one as soon as it comes out. So it's like it is massive business over here. It's always in the top charts. It sells like hotcakes over here. So obviously 2K have been looking into this. And I do feel if they do get their hands on it, it might not be a good thing for FIFA.
Yeah, it's a weird one, because I know that it will be the FIFA name, but it's not going to be the FIFA game. The FIFA game is now EAFC. That's I don't play FIFA or any football game. You'd be surprised to know, but it's so if you want the FIFA experience, you just go pick up the new EA football game, because that seems to be that's going to carry on with the FIFA game mechanic, whereas whatever FIFA finally comes out being, it's not going to be FIFA.
Yeah,
it's going to be something else.
My son was quite heavily into it, like last year, the year before they lost like their license, and then it was like all about buying these packs, and all his mates are spending all this money buying the packs, and what players they've got. And it's not until about this time, at the end of the season, that you're now starting to be able to get. They do like these different things where you can build teams to send in, and then they start getting better players. All of a sudden, you're getting Messi, you're getting Ronaldo, whereas at the beginning of the year, you're having to like buy these packs, and you might get one decent one in it. So it's just another way of them making crazy money. So yeah, with them not having a license, I just don't. I think 2K will jump all over this, being able to pay to play rubbish.
Yeah, I think that model kind of works for sports games in a way, but I mean, it's not something which I'm going to jump in on because I've already got 6 or 7 FIFA games. I think I've got enough.
Thank you, George.
Yeah, I've got a good. What was it? FIFA 2006 onwards, or something. I think it was, or 2009. Who knows?
That was it. So, for anyone new to the channel, go in and search through our videos. Tim from one of our old channel members, Tim was given as a Secret Santa present an array of FIFA titles.
Yes,
and Tim actually played through them to see if there was any difference between them all. And it's a very entertaining video. So do go and check that out, even if you're not a football fan. Because
I would say it's probably more. I would say it's probably more entertaining if you're not a football fan. If you like FIFA, you'll probably not be a fan of FIFA yet. So not really in football, but hey, it was still a fun exercise.
It was good fun, and it was good fun to watch. Okay, let's jump to. We had a couple of starred questions. So, excuse me. The first one is from Mr. Dave Newland Music. Thank you for joining us, Dave. I know you've been in the show through most of the evening. So, talking about 60 quid launch titles, how do you weigh in on the current rumors that GTA 6 will be north of £100 on release for the standard edition? Ooh,
wow,
that is eye-watering.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to part with that much money for a game. And a standard edition as well. That's not even like with all the trimmings, If I'm paying 100 quid, I'd want all the DLC. I'd want a season pass. I'd want, some skins, whatever it is you can throw at me. Give me as much content as you can for that much.
I used to pay about 80 to maybe 100 for like the limited special big box editions of Assassin's Creed that came with all the like the figures and all the DLC, all the soundtracks, a lot. And I was there day one outside Blockbuster picking up at GTA 5 on my PS3. Or was it my Xbox? No, it was my Xbox because it read Ring of Death the week before, and I ended up buying a new Xbox as well as just to play GTA. And the fact that it's still going now, like my son was going on about downloading it, I was like, nope, because you were only 12. So the fact that game is, I remember like when that game came out, I remember fully completing it, and it was like, we're going to bring an online out, and I played the online, and it was at the time when it first came out dreadful. It barely worked, couldn't even work, and now it's huge, still going, makes them millions, makes them hundreds, it makes them so much money. Would I pay 100 quid for it? And that is another thing. I don't know. The thing is, Rockstar, yeah. For me, Rockstar they're like Nintendo quality. That you get this game, the fact that it's going to be going on for a while. It just seems crazy that it's going to be north for a standard edition. I think the highest I'd probably go, maybe if it was 80 quid max, like you're saying, you're paying about 60, 70 now, but over £100, it's a lot of money, isn't it?
Especially like the discounts that come in. I think Game of Thrones put a thing on there, like you wait a bit and you get 50 to 90% discounts after 6 months to a year, and like GTA 6 will be around for a while. So there were rumors going around GTA 6 cost $150. That's $120.
Jesus wept. I mean, if the standard edition of a game is north of £100, I mean, it's got to be bigger than the second coming of Jesus Christ, hasn't it? It can't be anything short of absolutely magnificent.
The problem with that as well, as I was saying earlier about some of the state of play games, I think look good. It's like, but they're going to be like 60 quid games, and I'm there going, I've got all these games from PlayStation Plus that I've had each month. I've not had a chance to play yet. Some of them look really good. I've got Game Pass. I've got some Switch games. Like, do I want to drop another 60 quid on the latest game? Now you're saying, am I going to drop £120 on the latest game when I've got this massive archive at my disposal I can jump on and play? It's that price. Is it worth it to jump that for that much? I think it's just too high a price point for me.
Yeah, and if it does come out at that, I think I'll be doing what Gamertron says there. He says, you don't ever buy a game when they first come out. I'll wait for the 50 to 90% discount 6 months to a year later. Yeah, very, very few Nintendo games come down in price.
Definitely.
You know, so I would happily wait. There are some games I can't help myself. I have to have day one because I want to play them straight away because I'm too excited. But I think that I will be taking Gamertron's outlook on GTA 6 if it turns out it's going to cost 120 quid.
If they bring it out for 120 quid and let's just say it sells bucket loads, we're all buggered then. Because everyone's
going to go, oh, we can get away with selling it this much. God, can you imagine if they bring it out that price point and it's really buggy and they need to keep downloading patches and stuff and it takes a year for it to get any good?
Like,
do you know what I mean? Like,
again,
I don't think Rockstar would. To be fair, I think Rockstar've got a good track record. But
been hacked already, don't it?
Yeah.
Like I had a good experience with this next game. We've talked about it a lot. So I don't want this to try and resemble my experience with playing it. But imagine GTA 6 coming out, 120 notes, and it's like Cyberpunk.
I knew you were going to say that.
Cyberpunk, yeah.
I knew you were going to say that. I think
I'd
wait like I did and pick it up for a tenner.
Yeah, all that.
I picked up Cyberpunk for a tenner where it bombs. Everyone's just getting rid of it.
Something just wouldn't sit, you know. And I had a good time with Cyberpunk at launch. Played it on a PS5, but it was a good couple of months after it had been out, so a lot of patches had been done straight away. But 120 notes. That's a lot of money for a standard version of a game. Like I said, it have to be bigger than Jesus to be worth that. But we shall see. What's that? Game Pass Ultimate? Yeah. 100%.
You just get
don't
so
disagree with that.
Bang for your buck with that, don't you? Especially like if they have day one launch titles on there, and you've not even considered forking over any money, and then it's like, oh, got it, and it's day one, and I can play this game brand new. It's can't beat it, I think.
So, Dave, this other one you've got here, this must be in relation to something. So they've never dabbled in the VR market, unlike Apple.
Microsoft, because we were talking about Microsoft at the time when he posted that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is all to do with like the Apple.
That's crazy money in it. Apple ring.
Actually,
you look. No, go on, Tim. Go on.
I was just going to say we were talking obviously about the different IPs they've now got, the different things like Blizzard and Activision stuff like that. If they do allow for other consoles, does that mean we could see some games like that on PlayStation and then have them in VR? So at the moment they don't have a VR option for Xbox, and PlayStation does. So could we see some VR content coming from Microsoft?
Candy Crush in VR.
Via other consoles. Candy Crush in VR. So I was posted been about like sports games in VR, like FIFA and VR. What that'd be a bit nuts, but you don't see a lot of that sort of thing. But so there's an Apple VR. I must have missed this. There's an Apple VR for $3,500.
Yeah, so
VR headset. Why
you do look
Vision
like
Pro,
an absolute dickhead because people wear these. People wear these out in the street. You walk around with it on your head.
Okay, and but surely people are going to get mugged. It's $3,500.
I know.
That's ridiculous. Like, surely someone's going to go, "Oh yeah, they've got a headset on. I'll have that."
Here we go.
Yeah,
Vision Pro.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong.
Why is it so much? I don't think I'd want to have that just because of how much it costs. I'd be so paranoid I'd drop it and break it.
Have a big cable coming out of it.
Have we got any videos of it?
Yeah, I'll get you a video.
Let's see if we can get a video going.
If you're paying that much, it needs to be wireless. What are they playing at?
And let's hope we don't get if we get copyrighted on this. Who cares? We'll still leave it out. We just won't thingy it. So we'll let the video run, and then but yeah, this thing, I think it's their version of like Google Glass, but
right. So is it like a thing where you can wear it and you can have like augmented reality?
Yes.
So you can walk around and it kind of allows you to interface with the world differently.
I think so.
Yeah.
And again, The Simpsons predicted this, which is again terrifying.
I don't think.
Here we go.
You look Marcus. Like a cat walking around outside with them on your head. Like I like actually wearing it. I like the idea, right? But hang on, how can you walk around with it if it's got a cable? What's it plugged into?
I know. What is it plugged into?
Must be your phone.
It's got look at the two cameras here on the bottom.
Yeah.
So is it gonna? Can it show us?
It's hand. I think it's hand gestures as well, rather than controllers. So like pinching stuff and moving things.
There you go.
So I mean, I get the idea if you're walking around and I don't know, you want to use something like maps to get where you're going. Actually, seeing like road signs come up and arrows on the floor that only you can see, like that kind of thing is kind of cool.
Arrested. Driving
it to drive.
VR. What the f?
Arrested using it to drive. I don't know.
How did you not know this, Tim? You're Mr. VR.
I know. This has not come up. The internet algorithm has failed me. It's not told me about this.
Tim is going to go down the rabbit hole this evening of Vision Pro.
I'm not really an Apple person, to be honest. I don't have iPhones and stuff. I tend to stick to like Google and Android. Yeah.
So I do have an iPhone, and I'm Mac is my preferred computing experience as well. But no.
Just the price point comparatively to like the Oculus Quest. The Oculus Quest is a brilliant headset.
It's amazing.
I get a lot of use out of that. It's absolutely brilliant. And for the price point, it is bang on. And you get some really good fun experiences that I don't think, as much as I like VR, this doesn't cost me at all. $3,500. That's
probably about $3,000.
Yeah, about $3,000.
Wow.
I'm not spending $3,000.
That's what it was plugged into. Do you see that little power pack there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah.
No, not for me.
I'd love to have a go on it.
Yeah, so $3,500.
But interesting that the technology has got to that place. But I don't think this is a point I want to jump on. But interesting that the technology has got that far. I would like to see where this goes in the next, couple of decades. We might fast forward 10 years. What are we going to have in our hands? Like some stuff is
scary.
But I just think that price point, I would not feel comfortable walking around with something that expensive on me.
No,
because I'd be worried that it'd get broken or get stolen or I'd lose it. You know what I mean? But I don't want to walk around with something that expensive on me.
It's bananas. Absolutely bananas.
Yeah. Nice little rabbit hole there.
Yeah. And then last one from Mr. Gamertron. Can't see Nintendo. Can't see Game Pass going on Nintendo or PS5. Why would Sony and Nintendo want to have a service on their system?
Point.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'd get money for it, wouldn't they? They would have to take a cut, so Microsoft would pay them. They would get a take on it, wouldn't they?
I think there would definitely be some take from them for sure. I think Microsoft would probably still want the lion's share.
Yes.
Purely because it's theirs. I don't know. Maybe if they go down this route of, maybe this is Microsoft preparing for being a digital-only system, and you can access it via Game Pass in some weird way. And if they get that onto PlayStations and Nintendos somehow, maybe they're playing the long game, like Blunnis was saying earlier. And they offer Sony and Nintendo some like weird deal where they get like good revenue from it, and then in the next 8 or 9 years when there's no console, people are already like, oh well, I'm already signed up to Game Pass, so I'll just continue with that. Maybe they're looking at it in the long run. I don't know, but I do agree. Why would you put something on your system if it's going to heavily impact game sales on your system?
Yeah, we didn't really talk about that. Like you said, we could talk about this all day. So hopefully,
we'll see some news.
Maybe on Uncensored, Uncensored after we've had this.
Also, I was thinking, let's say, just for the sake of argument, they did bring out Game Pass on the PlayStation 5, which I don't think is going to happen. But if they did, would you need your Xbox anymore? Could you just sell your Xbox? Because you can play all your Game Pass games on your PlayStation. would you keep it? Is that not just a bad move altogether for Microsoft?
Which makes you think they'll just drip feed a couple of games over
it's
there.
Like, why would you do that? Because if Game Pass is just available on another console, what's my reason for having an Xbox at that point?
It's not there.
You know,
zero.
Let's see what they do. I'm interested to find out what the announcements are going to be and how this is going to actually look.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. So, thank you everyone for joining us live. It's wonderful to see you all again. I know I'm taking a little bit of a backseat, but you know, come mid-April I will be back, because straight away after my play I then go to Disney World for 2 weeks.
Oh, lovely stuff.
So I will be back at some point very, very soon. We've got lots of good things coming, but everybody else is keeping the ship floating and doing all they're doing. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining live, and thank you everyone for the interactions. As always, it's always wonderful to see that the community is still growing and is still filled with lovely people. So, you know, thank you all as always. And if you are finding this through the YouTube algorithm, the wonderful thing that is this elusive algorithm, you know, have your 5 pence in the comment section. We do read the comments. We like it when people comment. We like seeing where people are at. You know, just be kind, except not everyone's going to agree with you, and don't be a dick. That's our general motto. Outside of that, you can say what you like. But yeah, if you do stop on by, give us a little thumbs up so that we know that you've been here. And if you are new to the channel, please consider hitting that. Oh, I've gone really big. Consider hitting that subscribe button if you are new, because that does help us out us out a tan. Dom die. Oh, brilliant!
Great. You know, you should check the others out.
Dude, we had so much fun with Dominic. Yeah, there's a couple of other ones. Dave Perry one is also another highlight. Very, very enjoyable. Thank you very much, Gamertron. So yeah, so guys, I will see you all very soon. And yeah, thanks very much. Good evening.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Catch you.